Hello, everybody. Lewis, Norwich City Central. Welcome back to the NCC show. Of course, joined by co-host Doeke. Doeke, I hope you're doing well, mate. It's been another quiet week related to Norwich City Football Club, mate.
Yeah, it's been quiet, hasn't it? Not really a lot gone on. No, it's been hectic, hasn't it? It's been a struggle to keep up with all the news, really. Obviously today announcing that Dean Smith is our new head coach, which I'm personally delighted about. So
Are you?
Yeah,
I can't because we were speaking about Dean Smith last week, and I can't remember what your comments were, but you didn't sound too excited at the time.
I think I just said no to Dean Smith. Just no. I don't think he was nowhere near the front run either. I think it was
no
between Lampard and Knutson. I think that those are the only two names that kind of just were being thrown about, and the odds were looking very, very comfortable for the pair of them. And Dean Smith was somewhere towards the back, and I think it just seemed like Knutson and Lampard were going to battle it out. It seems like neither of them. I think Lampard was in talks, and then I'm glad we've not got him purely on the basis that he's very, very, very inexperienced. Don't think he'll do enough to keep us up. And the only really good thing about Lampard is his pulling power in a January transfer window. But at the same time, Dean Smith also has that, plenty of experience of Walsall, Brentford, and Aston Villa. If you look at all the clubs that Dean Smith has been at, he's always left them in a better place than when he started. So,
Villa fans love Dean Smith as well, don't they? Really,
exactly.
really
they adore him, and I'm all for Dean Smith, all for giving him a chance. I'm happy he's here. I think he's a good appointment. The football he plays is very, very similar to Norwich. That we have played in our better spells, obviously. Plays obviously a 4 at the back, 3 in the midfield, and a 3 going forward. So hopefully it sees Campbell, Zollis, Gilmore all return to the side, sort of thing, and kind of give them a bit of a fresh start, I guess, at Norwich.
Yeah, thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you later. Really good summary there. And of course, in this video, we'll be going through about Dean Smith and all news there, and also about the week as well. And also, I think the Pinkin did a really good piece on kind of the events that folded, because, as you say, Dick, it's been a bit of a chaotic week. Ian, I hope you're doing well, mate. A new chapter, yeah, completely, mate. Billy Dalton, hope you're doing well, mate. Will Dean Smith play 4-3-3 or 4-3-2-1? Yeah, I mean, most certainly going to be a 4 system, which is really exciting. None of that kind of back 5 stuff, which we're not a massive fan of.
He done a similar thing to Farker, that what Farker done with us. He done the same at Villa, sort of kind of panicked and went for a 5 back for a bit of time. Worked in parts, didn't work in the majority of time.
That system is kind of what threw Dean Smith in the end at Villa, wasn't it, mate?
Yeah. And I think he knows that as well. So I think he'll revert back to a 4-back. You'll see the quality that we do have going forward, the quality available to him, and the fact that he has to utilise that, which Daniel Farker never really did with Norwich this season. Never really utilised the likes of Christos Solis, the likes of Billy Gilmore, well. So, fingers crossed that Dean Smith does.
We do hope so. Billy, we're definitely going to be talking about the team. I think Todd Cantwell is certainly someone who's going to be very happy that Daniel Farker's gone. And what an opportunity that is for Todd, because I'm sure he's going to get some game time there. Lewis Hawkins, hope you're doing well, Lewis. Sweet. Yep, definitely, mate. Definitely. Good news. I love all this, and hopefully, with the kind of Global Canaries Day, we can see some more Chile flags at halftime at Carrow Road. Hello from Chile, South America. We miss Emi Buendia. Look, we miss Emi Buendia too. What a player, technically.
Dean Smith's bringing him back, the ideal replacement. Trust me, this is all part of the 5-year plan.
Yeah, that's it. After of course, we get 97 points. We win the championship with style. If you would have said our first game against Villa that Emi Buendia would be playing for Villa and we'd be having Dean Smith as manager, I mean, what are the odds you'd get for that?
It'd be crazy. Billy just said it there. Norwich to re-sign Buendia in January, but won't happen. Dean. I just do like this. I do. The thing is,
what were your initial thoughts then, Doeke? Because obviously the first reaction, and I kind of felt it too. I think with Lampard, you've got that kind of unpredictability. It's Frank Lampard, isn't it? You've got that kind of unpredictability about him. With Knutson as well, a really exciting name abroad in terms of what he's done. What he's done abroad, a really terrific achievement. So when you compare Dean Smith to the two of them, it does feel slightly, I don't know, underwhelming or not exactly the most attractive of options. But the more you look at it, the more it makes sense.
Frank Lampard, ex-England, has managed Chelsea, top 4 English side. Jethro Knutsen is a fantastic name. Then you got Dean Smith. Hasn't played for England and hasn't got the most attractive and fancy name in the world, which is, I think, just based off pure appearance, that's what fans went off. And I know it sounds so ridiculous, but it is true. This is, simple, first impression, just looking at appearance. But then when you dive into what Dean Smith is about, and you look at all the Villa fans and Villa players absolutely raving about him, even Brentford fans absolutely raving about Dean Smith and the job that he done there. And you look where he joined Villa. He joined them when they were 15th in the Championship. They're now, I think, 15th or 16th in the Prem. Finished 11th, I believe, last season. They look really. He done a really, really good job there, and kind of built up some players into some real quality Premier League players. Look at John McGinn. He was signed from, I think, Hibernian back in Dean Smith's first season. I don't think Dean Smith signed him, but he turned John McGinn into that world-beating centre midfielder in the Premier League now, and into one of Villa's better players, like a Tyrone Mings, how far he's gone on. And he's just developed so many players. And it's an ideal option for Norwich. Dean Smith is an ideal replacement for Daniel Farke because he does bring that ability to develop players. And you look at the players that we do have on this side and the potential they have to become world beaters and to become really good players in the Premier League. Dean Smith has that ability to turn them into that. And that's what I'm really looking forward to.
Yeah, definitely. And particularly working with young players as well. He's also brought through a lot of young players. And looking at the situation with Toddy, really, really exciting. Of course, what he's done with Jack Grealish. We know Jack Grealish is a quality player, but I think Dean Smith really brought Jack Grealish up to another level in terms of what he did in the Premier League and the freedom he gave him. And I think Todd Cantwell could be given that kind of freedom kind of on the left to kind of, do your thing. And I think he's going to see a lot of similarities in the way Grealish plays to Todd Cantwell.
Oh, absolutely. I think we've said it before. They're both very, very similar players. Obviously, Grealish is at a level above Todd Cantwell. And I think whatever's gone on with Todd Cantwell, obviously we heard the rumours about Billy Gilmore. Obviously, we know that's not true. And both socials about it, but it should never come to that. It's a very, very weird accusation, and how it went about it baffles me. I mean, Norwich City Twitter, you do forget Twitter is a free app sometimes. Some of the entertainment on there by Norwich fans is priceless. But no, I'm just happy that, fingers crossed now with Dean Smith, he can kind of take Todd Cantwell under his wing. And I think the thing that I said at the start of the season, we need to build a team around Todd Cantwell because he is now our Emi Buendia player. And the fact is we lost that creative spark in the team. We did not, after kind of Todd got moved out the side, it was after the Leicester game for me. The Leicester game was the last game we actually looked somewhat creative in. And apart from obviously the Brentford game at the weekend, but yeah, that's a poor Brentford side. But that's an anomaly at the minute.
I think it's Gilmore's last game as well, wasn't it, too? That Leicester game.
And you kind of look, the creativity just went. Obviously, we had the 2-0 nil draws, didn't create a lot. And when we did create a lot, it was from mistakes from the opposition. So, it kind of went hand in hand. But with Todd Cantwell, hopefully, Dean Smith can take him under his wing and bring him back into the side and kind of build that team around him, play Zolis and Rashica off Cantwell, Pookie up front. That sort of front four is what I want to see. I want to see, quick, talented players. I want to see Pookie getting behind. You want to see Todd Cantwell sort of orchestrating the attacks from now on. And I think that's what's going to get us points in the Premier League, if I'm honest, under Dean Smith. And I think Dean Smith really does have the ability. Obviously, we've seen what he can done with Grealish. He has the ability to do that with Todd Cantwell.
Yeah, definitely. We spoke about this last week, didn't we, with Daniel Farke, and Norwich have always been known as a yo-yo team, but I don't think it's ever been more emphasised by Daniel Farke in terms of, what he did in the Championship. It was unparalleled. And then in the Premier League, he's almost a completely different manager. And
I think it's a mindset, Lewis, if I'm honest. I think it's a mindset from, and this is going to sound very, very maybe harsh, I don't know, but it's a mindset from the top of the club all the way down to the managerial position. It's the fact that we're a top 26 club or something. That comment still goes flying around. And I think Dean Smith's going to add a different sort of mentality in there. I don't think Daniel Farke had the strongest mentality and to keep the team up in the Premier League. I think we know for a fact that Dean Smith has. He's done it 2 seasons on the bounce. Would have done it a third if he would have stayed at Villa, I believe. I think he would have kept Villa up. That Villa squad is very, very strong, regardless of how bad a form they were. And I think Dean Smith will be able to bring out the best in this Norwich City side, because I think we all know that this Norwich City side is capable of staying up. Yes, the recent performances and this season has not proved that whatsoever, but we know the quality of players when they get ticking as a team, get playing together, get creating chances, defending well. They're a bunch of Premier League quality players, and it's the Premier League side that can stay up.
Definitely. And I was just going to touch on the point you just made there, Doeke. It's almost a mentality thing. And, some of the comments, there's always been comments about Norwich City fans needing to back the players, which I think Norwich City fans are quite good at and respectful anyway. But, some of the comments around Farke saying, he needs a miracle to stay up. I get it's trying to take pressure off the players, but I just don't think that's the mentality to survive in the Premier League. And
do you really want to take pressure off the players? That's the second thing. Maybe, some of the footballers should be thriving under pressure, a point to prove. And when we've got nothing to play for, we literally play like we've got nothing to play for. You know what I mean? We're coming against a big side. You look early in the season against Man City, you look against Chelsea. He'll go in and say, we've got nothing to play for, all the pressure's on them. Yeah, we play like we've got nothing to play for. That's the point. We need to be giving teams like that a game. And I think that under Dean Smith, that mentality will be there. And I think from day one, since he's been at the club, hopefully today, he's drilled that into the players, and hopefully we see a big performance against Southampton at the weekend.
Yeah, and it's one of those things, mate, where Dean Smith's got to hit the ground running, because Southampton at home, Wolves at home, and Newcastle away. I mean, if you don't win any of them, I mean, it already pressure's mounting on Dean Smith, and he's not going to lose his job, of course, after 3 games, but already pressure's mounting. And you're looking at already, how do you get out of this relegation battle, after the best already in?
That's it. It's all about just survive on the few games that we've got coming over the Christmas period. I think a lot of them are very, very winnable. You look at Newcastle, you look at Wolves, you look at Southampton, those 3 games all in a row.
Man United after as well.
Yeah, we've got Spurs away, we've got West Ham away. That's 3 points area here and there. But on a real note, these are games we do have to be winning. Those three, especially Southampton, Wolves, and Newcastle. I think, realistically, if you're looking at a realistic factor, you may get a draw, may get a win, maybe. But if we're looking at a side that needs to stay up and needs to pick up points and needs to pick up points soon, we've got to be looking at those 3 games as must-win games. Daniel Farke would not have installed that mentality in this side. I think Dean Smith will.
Yeah, and that's one of those things as well. I've seen a lot of thingamajig around in terms of the Championship. Of course, in the 18-19 season, I mean, Aston Villa had Tammy Abraham, Jack Grealish, Tyrone Mings, England internationals, and only finished in the playoffs, and obviously got promoted through the playoffs against Frank Lampard's Derby. And some of the criticism, I guess, was, well, Daniel Farke finished 20 points ahead of Dean Smith with a far inferior team on paper, but it's not actually about the Championship at the moment, because we'd keep Daniel Farke if you want to be in the Championship, but just he was given many opportunities and just showed he wasn't quite at that level at the moment in the Premier League level. And as you say, I think with Dean Smith, I think he's at that level. Would you argue that maybe he spent 100 million in each of the 3 seasons at Villa? Could he do it with a smaller budget, or what would you make around those kind of comments about kind of the budget issues? Because obviously he's been given a lot of money to play with at Aston Villa.
I think it's fairly irrelevant. I think it's.
I think so too, mate. I think so too, because if you look at what Norwich have done, we've spent 60 million this time around, with Norman and Kabak being loaned to buys for 15 million if we stay up. So that's essentially 80 million as an overall package. And
it's about 90 million. So effectively, it comes to near enough the same sort of price tags. Dean Smith can do a job of these players, because you look on paper to Villa, when you compare the two squads, Norwich isn't a million miles off.
No.
I would not take Tyrone Mings over Bamidele. I wouldn't. I mean, I maybe take Overy Konsa, but I take Matty Cash over Max Aarons. No, I wouldn't. I think
it was last season where they really made a step up with Martinez.
They did make a really good step up.
They finished 11th,
They finished 11th. They've done really, really well. And Dean Smith really did. play some really fluid attacking football. It's beautiful to see. Look at that 7-2 win they had over Liverpool. It's fantastic. They were great.
Yeah, that was a great game.
I do trust Dean Smith into kind of getting this team winning games and performing well. When it does come up to the bigger sides, I expect us to cause an upset. Well, not cause. I don't expect an upset, but I can go to Spurs away in a few weeks and think, oh, we might be able to get something here. We might be able to do it. Maybe, who knows? Purely because of the fact that we know that Dean Smith has done it before at Villa. And not just done it once or twice, he's done it a few times. So, even this season, against away at Man United, who have Cristiano Ronaldo.
Yes,
Villa won.
Yeah. I don't really know what happened this season. I mean, I want to quickly go back to the start, actually. Of course, at Walsall, he took over in around 2011. There was in the relegation zone. I think there's 8 points adrift. He kept them up. And then he was at Walsall for a few seasons, building them to a mid-table team. And then he left Walsall to join Brentford in 2015. He left Walsall when they were top of the table. I think Walsall ended up, they didn't end up getting promoted, but he got them to top of the table from the bottom, essentially. And then at Brentford, did a really good job. Of course, they never got promoted under Dean Smith, but he really built the foundations, and he was an integral part of that in terms of bringing players through. Benrahma, Ollie Watkins, Maupay. Yeah, some really, really good players. And then he gets his dream job, the boyhood club, the boyhood fan, Aston Villa, I think it was about the third way through in the 2018-19 season. His first game was against us. We won 2-1. It was the day I think Tammy Abraham scored and Jordan Rhodes
got a brace. Christ, what a night that was.
Yeah, that was a great night. He got Aston Villa. Obviously, under Steve Bruce, they was in a bit of a mess and got them to the playoffs. Okay, they had a really good squad, but they still managed to get promoted. It's almost irrelevant. And then in the Premier League, yes, he spent a lot of money, 100 million over the first 2 seasons, but he did what he needed to do. He did the expectations, and although it might not be the most, as you say, romantic of names at the start, he's someone who's got that pedigree of keeping them, keeping teams up, and he's done a job in the Championship as well. I think it makes a lot of sense.
100%. But it's not also just keeping teams up like Sam Allardyce or Steve Bruce might. It's keeping teams up and we're still playing good football, which is Norwich's sort of ethos and philosophy under Stuart Webber to, compete, do well, exceed expectations, play good football. And I think Dean Smith just fits that to a bill better than Daniel Farker. Sounds maybe very harsh because we haven't seen Dean Smith manage a game at Norwich yet. But from what I can tell from his time at Villa and Brentford and Walsall, is that is correct. He's kept Villa up for 2 seasons. At times, has played very, very attractive football, and has been competitive and has exceeded expectations, especially last season. And for me, that fits the bill at Norwich perfectly. And everyone's saying, "Oh yeah, Webber's absolute chat and absolute garbage." When it comes to Dean Smith being his first choice. Well, hang on. If you step back a minute and look at the bigger picture, Dean Smith is the ideal choice. And I don't think a lot of fans would have thought about it that way, because I don't think when you got the names of Yettel Knutson and Frank Lampard flying around, you kind of think, you look at Dean Smith and be like, it's Dean Smith. You know what I mean? It's no one special. But now when you actually look at it and kind of dive in, take out the pieces from the puzzle, you see that he is the real Bill at Norwich. And also, he's not been... I think this spell, when he's been out of a job, is the longest spell he's had out of a job since like 2011.
Yeah, he said he's been... that was a great line. I think he said in the last, 10 years or something. Yeah. It's a really long period of time. He's pretty much been managing consistently. It's kind of in his blood. So, I think...
He wants to keep going. Obviously, he got the sack of Villa, but he'll build Norwich. He'll be competitive. He wants to get better and better. You look at the way he's gone: Walsall to Brentford to Villa. Premier League football. Yes, he's got the sack of Villa, but the thing is, not just Norwich have a point to prove. Dean Smith has a point to prove. So he'll want to get this team playing because he'll want to do well as a coach and kind of build up his sort of portfolio and repertoire of who he is. So, absolutely, this is it for me. It's exceptional appointment from Norwich, and I think we are looking too much at the negatives, that he spent a lot of money, or he survived through some poor goal line technology decisions, or absolute garbage like that, or as a one-man team without Jack Grealish, he's nothing. You know, I think we do have to look at the positives and look at what he has done at Aston Villa. And also another interesting stat that I found out, his last game for Villa was against Southampton. His first game for Norwich is against Southampton. I think that's the first time that's ever happened, and it's crazy.
Also, I think his Norwich's next 8 Premier League games are all teams he's already faced this season, which is a little bit bonkers how that's worked out. But yeah,
That's worked out in our favour though.
I don't really.
He'll know how they'll
you
play.
see it on the pitch.
He'll know how they'll play. So yeah, he'll know how they'll set up, how they've been doing.
Hopefully.
Because he's experienced firsthand.
Definitely. I mean,
he's seen where Villa have made mistakes, and he'll make sure that Norwich won't make those mistakes that Villa have against some of those teams. You look at the 3-2 loss that Villa had against Wolves when Dean Smith was in charge. You know, 3 goals in the last 10 minutes or something. He'll make sure that Norwich won't do that. And it's simple stuff like that, very small but very important things like that, that I think his next 8 games could be very, very big for Norwich.
Absolutely massive, mate. And yeah, I mean, the next few games are very winnable, but there's some difficult games over Christmas as well. I mean, Lewis and Palace are the only realistic winnable games over Christmas. Some must wins over the next 3. What do you make of that, Doeke?
Villa, yeah. Palace haven't lost in 2 months. So we need to bear that in mind. Palace
look so good, by the way. They look so
incredible. They look incredible. I said this at the start of the season, before the season even kicked off. One of my good mates is a Crystal Palace fan, and
you got some stick for that. I remember that.
I got a lot of stick for saying they'll finish 7th, and now they've gone 2 months unbeaten. They're playing very, very, very good football. They've beaten Man City at the Etihad. Beaten Spurs 3-0. When Spurs were on good form, by the way, they then went to Palace and got absolutely annihilated. So, I think Palace is going to be a lot more difficult than what people expect. But the 3 that we've got coming up, consider, yes, Wolves have done okay, but they've just lost to Palace as well, by the way, 2-0.
Yeah.
That's at home for us. We need to win there.
They're a mid-table team. They're the type of games Norwich have to pick up points if you want to stay
Newcastle away, especially, that's a must-win. Southampton at home as well, that's a must-win. Because they're going to be their relegation fodder as well.
It's not Southampton, mate. Not Southampton.
Oh, absolutely, mate.
Not Ralph. No, not Big Ralph. I love Big Ralph.
He didn't join Norwich, did he? So he can.
He can bugger off. He can bugger off.
Yeah, exactly. But no,
there's a really good point on Dean Smith, though, as you were touching on earlier, mate. Of course, when we sacked Daniel Farke, Dean Smith wasn't even in the plans. Stuart Webber would have had a shortlist, and I imagine the top name on his shortlist would have been Frank Lampard, based upon the fact that Norwich City contacted Frank Lampard anyway. Yeah. But when Dean Smith becomes available, I think you've got to look at it. Anyway, I think how Stuart Webber's looking at it and saying, it's a blessing, a manager's become available who wasn't available when we sacked Farke, and now we can get him who we believe is a better choice, And he is a better choice than Frank Lampard the more I look at it.
Oh, 100%.
Difficult to compare with Jesper Knutsen because I think they're just 2 different managers. Yeah. But in terms of better than Frank, I think so.
I think Jesper Knutsen maybe will get a championship move before going to the Premier League and kind of prove himself there and then move up the ranks. Similar to what what's his name done?
Potter.
Graham Potter, that one. Yeah, went to the shithole Swansea and built his way up into the shithole of Brighton, which is actually it's less of a shithole. So he'll go to Norwich next to the fine city, hopefully, but who knows? But no, Dean Smith, loved the bloke to pieces already. I don't know why. The weird thing is, about 4 days ago, Lewis is who's messaging in the chat. He's my flatmate from next door, also Norwich fan, obviously. And as soon as he said, because I think I just finished work, and he told me we were doing some work or something, and he told me, Frank Lampard isn't the front line; it's going to be Dean Smith. As soon as he told me that, I was fuming for some reason, absolutely fuming. And now
what was his reaction, Lewis?
I kind of sat down, thought about it. I was like, I kind of now I prefer Dean Smith over Frank Lampard. I prefer Dean Smith over every manager at the minute. I absolutely love him. He's taken us to Europe. He's going to play. He's going to get us playing beautiful, beautiful football. And in 5 years' time, we'll be lifting up the Champions League trophy.
No, not this.
In 3 days, Dean Smith's done from me near enough hating him to me thinking that he's going to win us a Champions League in 5 years. You know, I love how football works.
He got Villa as well. People forgetting that. I think the season just went gone. He got Aston Villa to a League Cup final as well against Man City. So just
bit of silverware, bit of a Europa League.
Tickets to Azerbaijan, Decker. You want to start looking at those
all the way. Yes,
yeah,
that's how we do it. But no, on a real, I do think Dean Smith. I don't know what it is, because the fact is, I don't think anyone was inspired by the fact we were linked with Dean Smith.
No.
I was absolutely hating it. I was like, not Dean Smith.
Not Dean Smith.
Anyone but Dean Smith. And now I wouldn't have anyone else bar Dean Smith. But yeah, no, I think Dean Smith is the ideal option for us. I don't know what it is. I just fallen in love with him already.
No, I definitely agree, and it's a fresh impetus as well. And two players who I definitely think are going to benefit from Dean Smith. We already touched on Todd Cantwell, but also Billy Gilmore as well. And just to see, that they might not necessarily keep us up, these players. I mean, I look at Todd, I think he's a decent player, but I don't think he's necessarily at that high level quality, certainly yet. But yeah, these players can come in, and I think you just need sometimes that fresh impetus. And I don't think we was getting that under Daniel Farke. It was already becoming quite stale, wasn't it, mate?
It was. And, we saw the likes of Zolis not really getting an appearance, and Rashica did until that Saturday where we won against Brentford. He was getting played at left wing back, which obviously wasn't in the position.
Don't remind me, Decker. Don't remind me.
Hey, that era's over now, thankfully. And also, one other thing that really, really boils my blood. Don't get me wrong. I treasure the memories that Daniel Farke gave us. But people saying that we should clap in the 9th minute or whatever to celebrate Daniel Farke's whatever he's done at the club.
What?
He's not died. He's not dead. You know what I mean? He's not dead. He's gone now. We move on.
Why the 9th minute? Because I've seen this. Why the 9th minute?
I can't remember. Someone told me why, but I can't remember. Oh yeah, because he used to wear the number 9 shirt at his old club. Something ridiculous like that, and it just really buggers me, Lewis. I don't know why. Well, I do know why, because it's ridiculous. Because he's not dead. He's not died or anything. He's alive. He's kicking and breathing. You know what I mean? He's just not at a club anymore because he wasn't good enough. Which is how in any job works. If I turn up to my shift where I work in a Wetherspoon's kitchen and I turn up 3 hours late into a 6-hour shift or whatever, I'm not going to go expecting, a promotion or anything. Think, what, I'm going to take Wetherspoon's.
I would be giving you a round of applause, Decker. Don't worry about that.
Cheers. I wouldn't expect, people to give out promotions and clap me as soon as I get in, unless it's sarcastically, obviously. I mean, if Farke wasn't good enough, he got the sack, he got the boot like any other person would in any other job. Yes, he gave us good memories. We treasured him like that. See you later, mate. Dean Smith's here. The Shag and Yellows are winning the Champions League in 5 years' time. That's what I've got.
Dean Smith, Yellow Army. To be honest, Ducker, I disagree. I think we should be clapping in the 97th minute when, of course, Norwich City got that magical 97 points total. We'd be clapping in the 97th minute. Timo Pukki scores the 97th minute winner against Southampton. And yeah,
I really hope for your sake there's only 6 minutes of added time. Really hope that.
I'm standing behind.
Stand behind. Oh, you'll be clapping us getting 3 points against Southampton. That's what you'll be getting. That's all right.
That's it. I mean, we've spoken a lot about Dean Smith. What kind of team are you expecting Dean Smith to play? We touched on it earlier, mate. None of this back five. What we see is nonsense. It looks like it'll be a 4-2-3-1 or 4-3-3.
I think it's going to be reversing. Oh, the Dubai Canaries, Christ. Could make another balance.
We've had some overseas Canaries in this, Ducker. We've had Dubai Canary, good friend of the channel, and of course our friend from Chile as well. So it's good to have the international flavour.
Global Canaries, yes. But 4-2-3-1. I think it's going to be kind of the emphasis on this team. It's a similar formation to what he played at Villa. And I don't really hope. I think we'll see Krul in goal.
It's really difficult, that back line. I think there was a lot of competition for places.
For me, what I will go with for Saturday is Brandon Williams at left back, Omar Bamadeli and Hanley at centre back.
No, Gibson. Come on, mate, Gibson.
Oh,
After
Gibson,
the performance against Brenford.
Gibson was fantastic against Brenford. I completely forgot. I thought I can't really tell. I couldn't tell the difference. I had too many beers.
It was a bit of a blur, wasn't it?
Yeah, but Gibson was fantastic, by the way, that game. I must say,
Really
Gibson. I'd start Gibson purely because why would you change that back line when we defensively we looked okay until they scored, and then we did look really good for the rest of the game. Max Aaron's right back. I think he kind of lost his man, came across too much. Two holding midfielders. This is the tricky one because you've got.
Is it a free midfield as well?
For me, it's got to be Matthias Norman and Kenny McLean. I think for me, in the 10, I want to see Cantwell on the bench. He won't start because I think he's missed so many training sessions. He's not going to be fit enough to start. Lees Malou. I think Gilmore's got to be on the bench. I don't
really. Do you not think they get thrown right in, Billy and Todd?
No, not yet. I think we'll see. Maybe Billy, but I don't think we'll still play Billy in the 10. Maybe for McLean. I think it's very interchangeable between the two of them. Both very similar players in that sense. Sort of can both rat about the place and Scottish Cantes, the pair of them. So you've got the option there. And I think on the right for me. It's going to be Milo Rashica, and left is going to be
got to be.
I do like Kieran Dow, but he's just not.
Would you not argue Zolis has not had much game time if you're basing that off Todd and Billy, Dicker?
But we've seen Zolis come off the bench a lot more frequently than we have with Billy and Todd.
Yeah.
And which kind of says he's more match fit, if that makes sense. And like I say, you can put Billy in there. I think Billy will be game fit. I think. It's just with Todd at the minute. I don't know if he is match fit at the minute. But if he is, I'd throw Todd in the 10 and then either Kenny McLean or Billy Gilmore in that centre midfield alongside Matthias Norman. And I think up front, there's only one player, Timu Pukki, who I thought was fantastic against Brentford. It was fantastic.
It just shows, though, what happens when you get players a lot closer to Pukki. Like the influence, it's remarkable, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah.
Fancy being part of another banner, Dicker?
No, I'm not associated with that banner. That Barker Out banner has nothing to do with me. I hate it. I literally still have a go on Twitter about it at the minute. So, yeah, it's not me. I was very much respectful of Daniel Farke's last game. So,
in terms of the team, I quickly run through my team. Yeah, same backline as you: Krul, Williams, Gibson, Delhi, Aarons. The two in midfield, I go Norman and Lees Malou, Billy in the cam, Todd on the left, Rashica on the right, Pukki up front.
And maybe Billy's a 10 though. I don't know if Billy's a 10. If he can play,
or Lees Malou.
Yeah, it's very interchangeable, isn't it?
I would agree with what Lewis says here. I think that they could work really well. But also Kenny might. Do you think Kenny will benefit from the move as well? Because I think I certainly think he could be an option and. Dean Smith likes players who work hard in there. Could Kenny be seen as maybe like a John McGinn type of player in there, in terms of the kind of role he does?
I love that from you, Lewis. Love that.
I appreciate that. He runs around a lot, doesn't he, Kenny? So I think that's kind of similarities are.
Yeah, that's it. That is it. But one thing I've said here, Dean Smith is a better appointment than Frank Lampard, IMO, coming from a Chelsea fan.
Wow.
He's right. He's very, very right there. Because simply, Lampard just wouldn't cut it.
Well, let me know, football fan AR, why you think Dean Smith is a better appointment than Frank Lampard. I'd love to hear your reasons for it. But no, I think we agree. I think it's just the experience Dean Smith has. I think there's a romantic factor around Frank, and there's also a romantic factor around Knutsen as well in terms of what he's done in Norway. But with Dean Smith, I think he gets it, doesn't he? And he's had that success.
I think he's sort of got that. I think he's got that ability to kind of drill into these players that, it's time to step up and it's time to stay in the league. Whereas Lampard, it's maybe a bit harsh. I just don't think he's got that in him yet. I think he will.
Here's a question, Duke. If Dean Smith wasn't available, he keeps his job at Aston Villa, would we now be talking about Frank Lampard as Norwich City manager?
I don't think we will. I still don't think Frank Lampard would accept the job, and I think we'd be going in for someone we'd never have heard of.
Do you think so?
Yeah, I think so, because I don't think Frank actually. I think he was in talks with Norwich. He was open to the idea, but never fully committed to it. And obviously, it was very clear.
Do you think so? And I imagine Dean's. We're never going to know, but I think the noise is that Dean Smith was always the number one choice. Do you agree with that?
Because I can see why, though. And I think, let's say if Lampard was the number one choice, and then Dean Smith became available, Dean Smith goes up.
Keep going, sorry.
I did not pay for that banner. I can tell you that. It's someone's bed sheet, which is the worst thing. Why do I go out to buy a bed sheet? Christ. I'm not made of money. Christ. Not for that sort of stuff. No, absolutely not. But yeah, Dean Smith shagging yellows, playing upstairs football. That's what it's all about.
I feel bad. You're making a really articulate point there, Dick. And I just phone you on the banner. What was you talking about just there? I wanted to hear that. Oh yeah, the choice between Dean and Frank.
Oh yeah, I think so. For me, the fact that Dean Smith did become available, he jumps to number one over Lampard right there. And then. He jumps to number one. It may not have always been that number one choice, but he jumps to number one as soon as he becomes available because of I think he fits the whole package. He fits the billing at Norwich. Just because he doesn't have a fancy name or a very, very successful England career, people just don't see the romantic side of it, basically.
Yeah, I think I agree with that. I do think I agree with that. I think, and you also mentioned just earlier as well that you don't think Frank Lampard would have taken on the job anyway.
No, I don't think he would have. I think he knows that the task at hand is very much
risky for him, isn't it?
It's very much do or die for him, because if he keeps us up, it's great. It's jubilation for him, and it's really good success. It's really good. If he relegates us, like Lewis has said in the chat here, his ego would have, his ego so big, he would have just left. And would have left us in the lurch and the bigger issue than we would have been when we started with him. Which is why I think Dean Smith is a perfect option, because I believe he has more of a chance to keep us up, and if he doesn't, he has a better chance to get us back up.
Yeah, I agree. And as we've spoken about, he's someone who likes to play youngsters, gets the culture of the club. I think it makes a lot of sense.
Dubai Canaries put a very interesting question. Do you like that?
I'll just get to that. Dean Smith got a clear style of play. Frank didn't seem to have that. That's a really good point. I made a video on it in terms of some of the managers, and I mentioned Frank Lampard. There's a few pros, but that kind of lack of experience at this level, and also no clear defined playing style. I think you get that with Dean Smith, and you would have got that with Knutson. So yeah, I like it. I think Dean Smith.
That's fair comment as well, coming from a Chelsea fan who's experienced it firsthand. So I think that's very, very fair. Yeah.
You mentioned this question, Duker. Dubai Canaries, thank you for the question. Do you see a future for Sorensen? He seems to be a man left out at the moment. What do we think? New manager comes in.
He's never going to get in over Matthias Norman, though, is he?
Could it be a Norman Sorensen kind of pivot?
That's cancelling each other out, though, isn't it? If you play them two together, because they're both very, very similar players in that aspect. So they'll just cancel each other out on the pitch. And you kind of need someone who's going to carry the ball forward, along with someone who's going to sit back, but also can score an absolute screamer and just be an absolute legend in the midfield that Norman is. So.
I do feel for him though, because obviously, in left back, he did an absolutely brilliant shift.
Absolutely.
And, you need these kind of players who can break the lines and stop counter attacks. Do you not think Sorensen could be that guy? Obviously Norman's kind of the number one choice, but do you not think that there could be minutes for Sorensen? Because I don't think he's played a minute in the Premier League yet. I may not have even played in the league.
He deserves a few minutes, but I don't think that's going to come at the minute.
Do you reckon a loan move might be sensible, or keep him in and around the squad?
I think keep him in and around the squad, because we don't have another centre defensive midfielder.
Definitely.
Yeah, it's like he's like the young Alex Tettey at the minute.
Yeah. Elliot Pearson, I hope you're doing well. Thank you for watching the live stream. My team versus Southampton: Krul, Aarons, Gibson, Williams, Norman, Gilmore, Lees-Malou, McLean, Dow, Rashida, Pookie. Is that 11 or 12 there? There might be 12 there, but
very cool.
What do you reckon of that team, bar one of them, if there is 12?
I'm gonna pretend he didn't say
Dow.
No, because then you can't. Then I don't know what formation he's playing.
It's got to be one of those four. Leeds Malou or McLean.
Well, forget you said one of those. It was one of those that's gone. Solid team.
What do you think of Kieran Dow? Because of course he played in Daniel Farke's last 2 games. I thought he was pretty anonymous against Leeds, but I thought he was much better against Brentford. Do you think he's potentially? Do you think he's potentially a loser though? Now Dean Smith's come in, or do you think there is game time there for Kieran?
No, I think there's game time for Kieran Dow. Kieran Dow's got very, very good technical ability and very good quality. We saw that at the back end of last season, how good he was from set pieces, how good he was from range, how good he was from linking up play. You know, we never really had a solid number 10 last season. And when we did, it was Kieran Dow. And that was the back end of the season. How well he'd done in that game, in the back end of that season was fantastic. You know, contributed with multiple assists, multiple goals, and it was great. Great.
Yeah, and what was your assessment of his performance against Brentford, mate? Because you were obviously there.
I thought he was good. I thought he was solid. He'd done the job, and when he was on the pitch, he created chances. He was sort of playing as an inverted winger that we had missed from last season, and kind of cutting him on his left foot and trying to go out defenders in that sense, and it worked. We won the game.
Yeah, I like that. Billy Dalton, my 11, Krul, Aarons, Gibson, Hanley, Janulis, Norman, McLean, Rashida, Cantwell, Zolis, Pookie. If there's 12 there again, I'm gonna.
No, that is 11, but I'm not a fan. I don't know how he's dropping on Bamadelli in there. Don't know how he's dropping him.
What do you make of that kind of front four? Because Rashida, Cantwell, Zolis, Pookie. Do you think there's a place for all of them there in this team under Dean Smith?
Absolutely, yeah. Cantwell as a 10. I'm a big fan of that.
That's really exciting.
Big fan. I do want to see that. I do want to see that.
Ian Moore, Billy Gilmore isn't that good. Can we just accept that now? Very interesting. I mean, he played a few games at the start of the season, and I don't think he was particularly anything special, but Chelsea fans love the guy. Scotland fans love the guy. Surely there's a place for Billy Gilmore, no?
Yeah, I think he's good enough.
Oh, I think absolutely.
Chelsea Scotland fans think he's good enough. But if you give him game time, we might actually see why he's good enough. I think it's just the fact that he hasn't got game time. He's been playing in a position that doesn't really want to be playing in, and Daniel Farke kind of just lost the plot for a bit. So, yeah.
Ed Ling, thank you for joining the live stream, mate. Best Dean Smith song. I can't say I'm an expert about Dean Smith. The chants and songs of Dean Smith.
It's been less than 12 hours since he's been announced. Give me a chance to make one, mate. Come on. Like, Jesus. I'm quick, but not that quick on.
What are you? I would kind of put you on the spot here, Doeke. Have you got a Dean Smith song?
No, I'm going to say is Dean Smith, Shag and Yellow's playing upstairs football. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm saying. It's not a chant. It's just a saying.
Lampard has never improved a side, either league position. Yeah, it's a really good point. And we spoke about Dean Smith, improved Walsall, improved Brentford, and fundamentally took Villa from, in the Championship into a mid-table Premier League side. He's done the job. So, yeah, I completely agree. Ian Moore, Sorensen, defensive midfielder, Lewis and Doeke, Norman, box to box. Yeah, I mean, it'll be really interesting to see if there's a place for Sorensen.
But then that cancels out.
Could allow some freedom to Norman. I mean, we've seen how good Norman looks.
I think he's got the freedom anyway in the position that he's playing at the minute, and the way how he's playing at the minute. He's got the freedom anyway. He's been our best player.
Yeah, I agree with that. But would you not argue from what we saw in the Brentford game, and also Burnley sticks out in my mind? Norman is a central defensive midfielder, but bloody hell, he's good going forward. That real technical ability. Do you not think there could be a potential opportunity to play Norman as more of a box to box?
Yeah, I think Norman he gets told to play CDM in that sort of DM role, in that number 6, and then kind of just rats about the place as well. If he wants to go forward, he'll tell like McLean or someone just hold that sort of that position for him while he wanders off for a little bit and goes for a little walkabout. You know what I mean? I think that does help. We've got a midfield, very versatile midfielders. In fact, they can fill in each other's gaps. We can allow Norman to go forward, McLean or Lewis Malou or Gilmore or someone like that just sits back and allows Norman to do as he pleases, basically. And I think it's all about. I think when we're on the defense, we want to see Norman kind of drop back into that 6th position, sort of give that defense that security and that cover. And when we're on the offense, Norman, I think definitely give him that license to roam as he pleases.
Yeah. I like this comment here. I think we might need 12 men to get a result. Yeah, I think I agree with you, Lewis, at times. Ducker, come on then, get your singing voice out.
No.
Get your singing voice out, Ducker.
I legally cannot.
I'm waiting.
Legally cannot sing the chant at all. So we're going to leave.
The word legally there slightly worries me.
It worries me too. I was at work at 6 a.m. this morning, created it then. It's not good.
Elliot Pearson, I think we all know the answer to that, mate. I'm not gonna even entertain the question.
Is Pookie better than Dermot?
I'll tell you what though, Dermot is doing some good things in Croatia, isn't he?
That's in Croatia, mate. I could play. I could do well in Croatia, mate, if I wanted to. So, yeah. I mean, Dermot is just a crusty baller, isn't he? He's so bad. But he's awful.
I do love how we have, football opinions. We have opinions as Norwich City fans, and a couple of years ago we was all singing Josip Dermić's "No Tomorrow" song. We were saying how Duda is going to keep us in the league. I just love how you have some of those opinions in the past, and you kind of have egg in your face by the end of it.
Yeah, Josip Dermić just never proved to be that good, really. Yeah, he scored a tap in here and there. Yeah, don't get me wrong. He scored an open goal against Aston Villa in the league. Great, fantastic.
I'm really interested by this song, Duke, that's all I'm going to say. Score prediction versus Southampton. It's a massive game, Duke, isn't it? How are you feeling going into it?
Confident. And Dean Smith. New impetus, isn't there? Dean Smith, Shag and Yellows playing upstairs football are going to win 3-1.
I like that. Dubai Canary, Poeta or Zolis, or both?
Who's Poeta again?
Do you think there's a player in Poeta? Because I really feel he just needs a loan. I really feel he needs a loan somewhere in England.
He cost us $2.5 million, Lewis. Like the guy's just come off an athletics field and said, "Yeah, I can kick a ball in a straight line." And
he's young though. He's young, Ducker. Would you not argue? He's 23, 24.
I'm young. Give me a run out. I'll prove I'm better than him. But technically, I'm probably a better player than Przemysław Poeta, which is the worst thing about it. No, I don't mind Poeta if he can just kind of get a bit of end product. He's got raw pace and we can get at defenders and beat them. But if he's got a bit of end product, his game would be so much better. Like you say, he probably does need a loan. But Zolis, definitely, he's got the quality to start now.
What I'm so excited about Zolis is that I know he hasn't played much, but there's end product there. I mean, he's 19 years old, but he's almost one of Europe's hottest prospects. And I bet I'm absolutely gutted for him. I'm gutted for him if he doesn't get the game time, because there'd be a lot of good clubs who are interested in him. £10 million for a 19-year-old. He needs to play football, and I wish he can do that. Yeah. This is a really interesting comment here by Paul Frake. Not much is said of assistant coaches, but I think we've landed a good one in Shakespeare. Now, this is also a point going back to Daniel Farke as well. Edmund, it's been 4.5 years and I don't even know how to pronounce his name, but Edmund Reiner as assistant coach. Would you not argue, Farke may have benefited from maybe a more experienced kind of men behind him in terms of in the Premier League as assistant coaches? And what do you make of Craig Shakespeare coming in to the club? Is it a good one?
Yeah, I think it is. I think bringing Craig Shakespeare in is a fantastic appointment. It's also an experience to the sort of the higher sort of level of football managing in his career. He's had that opportunity as well. So he's
was he part of Ranieri's?
He was. He taking manager at Leicester for a bit when Ranieri got sacked. And I'm in great belief that Shakespeare is a fantastic appointment at Norwich. And the thing is, we as fans, we're very, very easily critical of our board and our ambition. To land Dean Smith and Craig Shakespeare,
really good. Has pedigree. Completely agree.
Exactly, and I'm pretty sure that shows ambition, in my opinion, because the fact is, we've not gone for managers who will get us up from the Championship next season. We've gone for a head coach and assistant head coach that will keep us in the Premier League this season, and that's the difference in ambition.
I saw a lot of Aston Villa fans saying, obviously, they liked Shakespeare coming in, and I don't know how much to read into this. And to be honest, when a manager comes in and you hear good things from opposition fans, that's always good to see. And Aston Villa fans love Dean Smith, and they were gutted that it didn't work out for him this season. Obviously, John Terry was the assistant manager there for a couple of years. How effective do you think John Terry was as an assistant manager in terms of that defensive side as well? Because I've seen quite a few Villa fans saying when John Terry left, that kind of that defensive rigidness wasn't there. And I don't know if that's just a simple, correlation, leaking goals.
That does have an effect. When you have John Terry, who's an ex-Chelsea captain, ex-Premier League winner, ex-Champions League winner, sort of in charge of that defensive unit, giving them instructions, giving them his know-how of the game, you kind of do ask yourself and think, when he leaves, who's going to give you that sort of guidance? So yeah, there definitely would have been an element of that. Definitely.
Frank Lampard. No, I didn't like that one.
Matthias Norman can teach the midfield anything he wants.
Well, there we go. I mean, I think although they're both central defensive midfielders, they're both central defensive midfielders, but they are slightly different players. I do think Norman is a little bit more rounded, but
yeah, I think Norman's all rounded. We'll see how vital Norman is to us come the end of the season.
He's been our best player without a doubt.
Season,
wasn't he? Without a doubt. It's like getting two managers. Yeah, that experience is important. Terry played for a season at Villa first. He did. Yeah.
Remember that? That's back in. Was that back when Jonathan Kodjia was banging in goals for Villa in the Championship?
It might have been. Wow.
Time ago that was. Remember that?
Yeah. I almost forget about that.
Who else was there? Was Ross McCormack there at that time? Robert Snodgrass, was he there? Albert Adoma, James Chester. God,
do you remember when we was linked for Ross McCormack for about a £10 million move? And I think he had issues with Aston Villa where I think he missed a training session because he failed to get out of his gate in his own home, which kind of said all about the type of man he is, really.
Exactly.
Actually, my favourite memory of Ross McCormack is, I think it might have been in Farke's first season or maybe Alex Neil's last in the Championship, and we was beating Forest. I think it was 5-0 up at home. He scores and gives it to the Barkley 5-1 down. I think I've never seen anything like that before.
Yeah, I think that was Alex Neil.
Yeah, I think so. It
was Alex Neil at that time, and then I think he got sacked shortly after, and then we got Alan Irvine, who wouldn't mind having him back. He was all right, wasn't he?
Steadied the ship, didn't he? He steadied the ship.
He did more than that. He got so many big wins on that back end of the season. It was crazy. We got that win against who was it now? Reading 7-1. And Reading were going for they got the playoff final that season. We absolutely dismantled them.
It was 6-1 up at half time, weren't we?
It was crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Oh no, 6-0. Yeah, maybe something like that.
6-0. I don't know, but it could have easily been 10 that day. We were absolutely unreal.
Yeah. We've come a long way since then. It's been a fabulous journey. I think we're going to round up the NCC show here. Thank you guys as always. It always picks up towards the end with lots of comments and interaction. So thanks for all your support. Doeke, I guess finally, Dean Smith coming to Norwich. How are we feeling? And what are your thoughts going into this Southampton game, mate?
Well, basically, mate, how I'm seeing it is that we're just going to be playing upstairs football and we're going to be destroying Southampton on the pitch. And we're going to win 3-1. It's going to be fantastic. It's going to be jubilant.
I was going to say, Doeke, at the start, obviously, we started the NCC show at the start of the season in the Premier League, and we did a little segment. Towards the end. We did a little segment where we were giving some fun score predictions, and we were saying, I think one of them, you said Jordan Huger would score a 90th minute winner against Man City. So they were about as unrealistic as they get. But then after we lost about 4 or 5 games, I think we forgot about it. We kind of lost all faith. So new managers in. What is your score prediction? Give me your take for the season. Let's have that positivity, Doeke.
3-1. All right, yeah. We're going to go 1-0 down. It's going to be half time. Dean Smith is going to drill into those players. And do you know what's going to happen in the second half? Yeah, that second half, Omobamidele is going to get a hat-trick.
Oh, no.
Yeah, that's exactly what's going to happen. He's going to be the next Thomas Vermaelen, a goal-scoring centre-half. He's the next
some fantasy points.
Fantastic. Next Ronald Koeman. He's going to be fantastic. He's going to get one with his head from a corner, and it's going to come on to the second goal, going to come out to about the 65th minute on the edge of the box, yeah? And it's on the volley, on his right foot into that top corner. And then his final goal is going to be an overhead kick on his left foot, and it's going to be absolute limbs everywhere. Behave. Oh, let's have a bit of optimism. Come on. I'm about my Delhi hat trick. Dean Smith, Shaq and Yellow playing upstairs football. Life is great again. Norwich are going to Europe.
It is a really interesting point, though. After the next 3 games, we could be laughing and you know, we could be singing Dean Smith songs forever. Or after these next 3 games, it could be quite a depressing situation we're in again. But that's part of the journey, isn't it, mate? On the ball, City. How long have you been a Norwich City fan? I've been since 2007. It was the season we got relegated to League One. So, you know, I was given that positivity early.
I'll go from how long I've been going for. I've been going for since 2010. So it's 11 years now.
So your kind of would have been the back-to-back promotions, that kind of time.
Yeah, back-to-back promotion. I kind of started going to games. So, yeah, it'll be then.
Yeah. 3-2 City. Yeah, I'm feeling confident. Why not? I'll go for a 2-1 Norwich win. I'm feeling good. It'll be a tough game.
Keep a clean sheet, though. It's just not a Norwich way. If we keep a clean sheet and we win, pandemonium. Oh, yes. I'm going to love it.
Doeke, it's been a pleasure as always, mate. Where can people find your stuff, find you out there?
Obviously, YouTube has been drying up at the minute, so there is content on there, but I haven't been uploading recently just because of uni, and it's just picking up at uni. So fingers crossed over the Christmas period, I may start back up again and kind of get on top of it. But obviously, so you can subscribe to that. That's just my name. Have a look at the content I have put out there. There is loads of content on there if you do want to go watch it. If not, go follow my socials. My Twitter is @DobmaDucker, and then my I've just seen it. Go away. And then my Instagram is @DuckerDogma2. I've got to go see him in 5 minutes as well.
Yeah, you're gonna have to have some words.
I'm going to be out of words.
Thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully we'll be back next week. Hopefully talking about Dean Smith, you know, Yellow Army beating Southampton. That's the goal anyway, isn't it? Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you later. Dean Smith.